Hello Virgo, thank you for watching. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is your second or third time back, welcome back. Just so everyone knows, with each video I do two readings. I start with a love reading and then I move right into a general reading. And I do ask that if you're mostly interested in a love reading, to at least stay until I draw the cards and introduce the cards to you for the generals, because sometimes the energy does carry over into either reading. So, okay. I think we're about ready to start. Give me just a few more shuffles and then I'll draw the cards. This is for Virgo, love reading for January 2016. The love reading for Virgo for January 2016. Whoops. It's not popping out at me, it's just slippery. I got this new deck. It's the Radiant Rider-Waite. Same images as my last cards, just a little bit smaller and a little bit more colorful. And I'm set up this little spot in my room instead of in my living room because I had to quarantine my friends, my roommates to their bedrooms while I was doing it, so I think this will work out okay though. Okay, Three of Wands, the Tower, the Eight of Wands, the Moon, Four of Wands, the Star, Four of Pentacles, the Devil, and the Ace of Swords. Okay. Wow. Can you see all these cards okay? Okay. Which is quite a colorful reading. Right off the bat, as I was drawing the cards almost immediately, the one thing that really stood out at me was I have the Major Arcana sort of in a nice diamond shape. First it was like a triangle here and then a triangle with wands, but at the end of the reading it's actually more of a diamond shape. Not necessarily the most significant, but it does, you know, interesting that you have a Major Arcana really connected with every corner of this reading. Really beautiful cards. I'm going to start with the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is for me a birth, a rebirth, perhaps in our love lives. You know, a lot of people, a lot of Virgos reached out to me in the comments and just via email. I actually don't usually re-watch my readings. Once I do them, I just put them out and I don't typically re-watch them. But I feel like it was maybe a more difficult reading. But I feel like all of that will sort of come around and the wheel will turn into a new phase, because here we are, Virgos, really embarking upon something new and bringing life into areas of our life that might really have been lacking or where we might have been struggling. We are about to embark upon, you know, upon new unexplored territory and to receive messages from the universe that perhaps we've never received before. And I love that this card is connected with the Moon, the Tower, and the Four of Wands, because the Four of Wands in the very center of the reading is the idea of one, celebration and coming together and, you know, a festive occasion, but it can also indicate stability and even marriage. Being a love reading, you know, if that's something that's on the horizon for you, a marriage might be something that is in the works. If you're totally single, you might find someone or be introduced to someone that might provide a more stable emotional environment for you. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite sudden, given the Tower. The Tower is often associated with challenges, but for me, I typically see the Tower as something that just quickly turns, quickly becomes something else. Regardless of what we think our world truly is, regardless of, the ideas that we have in our mind about who we are and what we want our life to be, every once in a while we will receive a divine reminder or an inspired reminder that there are bigger plans for us. There are things out of our control. And in a love reading, it might be someone that we never expected entering. It might be someone leaving. It might be, it could be a challenge. I'm not going to completely rule that out and say that that's definitely not the case. But something that ultimately will force us to reevaluate where we are in our lives and to realize maybe how vulnerable we actually are, and to open up our hearts to, it humbles us. It will humble us and open up a new world that we probably never thought we would get the chance to experience. And this is also very sudden. It's usually a very quick event, a very quick moment or a display of something that it comes and goes rather quickly. It is not usually such an earth-shattering type of experience, but it can be, but it goes away quickly. And the fact that it's directly connected with the Eight of Wands as well, the Eight of Wands being that idea of swift action, swift movement. And I see a fast recovery for you, or a fast, quickly moving into the next steps, quickly moving into a new phase. So if this truly is someone that is coming into our lives, or something that happens in our relationship, on a more positive note, even a marriage proposal or a decision to have children, on a negative note, if it is a breakup, or if it is a separation of some sort, regardless of what it is, either way, you will have a fast recovery and quickly make the next steps. Do what it takes to make that next phase happen. If it speaks to you in the way that this is a separation, perhaps feel comforted in the idea that whatever your next step is, no matter how unknown it is, or how scary it may seem, how frightful it is, just know that the universe, God, the angels, the spirits, have much bigger plans for you. And if this is a coming together, a marriage or an agreement to be together, or whatever that is, will provide stability in your life. It will allow you or enable you to find stability, not only within yourself, but perhaps with someone else as well. And I love that you have the moon and the star, because the star is truly your hopes and dreams, and your ability to fulfill those hopes and dreams in your life. And again, a fast transition from perhaps where you are now, looking on, perhaps where you think you're going, and some challenge, something good, maybe bad, either way, will really force us to pick up our feet and to move on, and to force us to make our hopes and dreams come true, whether our hopes and dreams are in relation to marriage or not, or family or not. it's interesting with this particular reading because I don't see people in this. It's just energy, which means it's really about an internal process that you might be going through and some, external things that you may experience. But I don't see a person coming in. I don't see, someone leaving. I don't see that for you this month, which is interesting. The hopes and dreams, or I'm sorry, the star as well, in addition to the hopes and dreams, for me, the stars are also our guides, similar to the moon as well. While it may be dark and it may be, a little bit scary and frustrating to move forward into an unknown area, it's a reminder for us to be humbled, like whatever brings with the tower, and to look up at the moon and at the stars, not literally the sun and the moon and the stars, but look up into the greater picture, the greater sense of being, and your bigger picture for what you want your life to be, and use that as a guide. The heavens, or those bigger pictures, truly are our guides. And they help us to make these decisions. They help us to take it step by step in the right direction. If you have a bigger picture in mind, and you keep your eyes on the moon will illuminate this dark path into an ominous landscape that you find maybe a little bit frightening, maybe a little bit mysterious. And even the moon can represent subconscious things as well. Subconscious, perhaps, what do you really want? Perhaps you aren't sure, but ultimately, I feel like it will become illuminated. And I love, too, that you even have the devil. Now, last round of readings, I pulled the devil, I think, in a couple of different readings, and I had a lot of kickback on how they interpreted it. I see the devil just like I see every card having a positive and negative side. It really depends on the cards that are surrounding its placement and that sort of thing, and the overall tone of the reading. In this instance, though, I see it being an extraordinarily positive thing for you, with commitment, with stability, and the choice, that conscious choice. And like I said, the moon sometimes can represent things that are in our subconscious, things we're not aware of, things that we're not aware that we know. And with the Four of Pentacles, you might be a little bit stubborn. You might be a little bit guarded. You might be a little reluctant to move forward, maybe feeling a little bit stuck. But I honestly, with the Major Arcana and the Tower and the Eight of Wands right next to it, with so much action and so much movement, you will really have no choice but to move forward. You will be spun into this tornado of activity in your life, spun into this truly unexpected new journey, new phase. And regardless of our efforts to keep things in line, Virgo, we like to do things by the book. We like to do things a little more cautious. We are more cautious. We are, while open-minded, we are very judgmental toward ourselves, and we self-discriminate probably more than any other sign in the zodiac. And unfortunately, sometimes that self-discrimination and that self-judgment, self-criticism does kind of prevent us from seeing the bigger picture of who we truly are and the value that we actually do bring. And that might be something that you are not aware of. Who are you really, and what do you have to offer someone else? Your partner, a potential partner. But again, you will be forced to move on, to move into bigger picture type of things. This is a card of commitment, and two souls who willingly remain tied to this pedestal. This is the card of Capricorn. This is the tarot card for Capricorn. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn being that idea of big picture. Big picture, tradition, formalities, and everything associated with those institutions. And this is your choice. I don't know if you can see that card very well, but this is two people who have chains around their neck, who can very easily slip these chains off, but choose to keep them on. It is a mutual choice, and there is a level of mutual respect and mutual trust. And you are committing. And if you are single, I feel if there isn't someone coming in, which I don't, like I said, I don't see an energy of a person coming in, but this might be a commitment to yourself. If you are totally single with no prospects, a commitment to yourself, and a commitment for you becoming a better person, for you, whatever that means for you. We all have our higher standards, especially Virgo. We all have higher standards for ourselves, and finding that stability within ourselves. If you are in a relationship, a newfound commitment, letting go, or maybe even in a good way holding fast and staying true and staying earnest and doing the things that you say you're going to do with this person, with your partner, with your spouse, or with, if this speaks to you on a family level, then with your family member. And with all of these things will come a new sense of clarity, a new sense of understanding who we are, what it means to be truly happy with our hopes and our dreams, and what it means, or not what it means, truly what our place is in this world and what our pathway might really be. Not only will we receive the things that we ask for, not only will we receive those, but those things that we are not aware of will become illuminated. They will come to light. They will be brought to our attention. And we will know what it takes or what we need to do in order to attain the things that we dream of, in order to become the person and the people that we really want to be. Yeah, very, very powerful reading. I love all the colors in this reading as well. I really like this deck, this Radiant Rider-Waite. I had the Giant Rider-Waite before, so these are all the same images, but there's just a lot more color. And for me, color speaks to me more so than, sometimes the meaning of the cards. And when you have such a colorful reading, I mean, even the light colors with the dark colors and the bright colors with the cool colors, or the warm colors and the cool colors, it's just like a mixture of emotions. It's a whirlpool of highs and lows and goods and bads, and that's the thing. Color truly is what makes our lives interesting, and what shapes who we are and our future and all that. Okay, I'll stop blabbing now. Let me concentrate on my shuffle. General outcome for Virgo, for love, for January 2016. and the Page of Cups. So this would be someone new coming in, or a message of new love, or a message of renewal of love with your partner. And if you are totally single, here is the entry of someone new, but also a change in you. Also, you wearing your heart on your sleeve a little bit. And this is to do a little bit with the change maybe that you might be going through. As Virgo, as earth signs, we typically tend, not always, it depends on our planets and all that, but typically tend to be a little bit more cautious, maybe be a little bit difficult to read, you know, for other people to understand just based on our facial expressions and our tone of voice. I know for me, people tell me that they have no idea what I'm thinking at any given moment because my face is like a poker face all the time. Not to say that all Virgos are like that, but sometimes that is our tendency. And as a more practical, logical, methodical type of person. So maybe this is a message for us that it is now time to wear our hearts on our sleeve a little bit and become vulnerable and allow the universe to shape our future and allow new things to come in, whether good or bad. Like I said, if this is a separation or a breakup or a divorce, or if it's the entry of someone new, or if it's, you know, a level of commitment or something, I'm deciding to move on and create a family. Regardless of what that challenge is or what that change is, to embrace it, and as Virgos, quickly begin to take action and to make things happen so that we can have the rest. So that we can have the rest of the blessings that the universe really has in store for us. Oh, hopefully that's a better reading than last month's. I got a lot of, so many comments about last month. I'm going to have to rewatch it now. Okay, here we go for the general reading for Virgo January 2016. Any information regarding family or health, finance, career, general reading Virgo for January 2016. Oops, that was a clumsy shuffle. Okay, one more and then we'll draw. Virgo for January 2016. Nine of Cups, Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, Four of Swords, oops. Again, Four of Wands in the very center, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands, Judgment, and Seven. Can you see all these? Okay. So, okay. Let's see here. I'm going to start, I guess, just with the fact that we have the Four of Wands directly in the center of the reading, again, for the second time in a row, which for me means that stability and somewhat joyous occasions might be an important theme for you from, like, this time period, like right now, into January, and maybe even carry over into February a little bit. Sorry, let me move my cat. She's in my way. Hold on. Come right back in. I know, I love you too. Okay. So, And I see, it's interesting you have 3 swords directly in a row, the 8, the 2, and the 4. I'm trying to think of really where to go to next. I guess I'll just kind of work my way through it. The 9 of Cups being happiness and emotional fulfillment and independent emotional fulfillment. And like I said in the love reading, there's something that we must go through, and that will really shape who we are. And one of the things that might make us a more attractive partner or just a better person in general is our abilities to create happiness within ourselves and not to rely on other people to provide that for us. And I see that this card is connected directly with the 8 and the 4 of Swords. Not terrible sword energies, just some mental blocks perhaps. With the 4 of Swords, I really love this card. For me, it's really similar to the Hermit, which is actually the Virgo card in the tarot. And it's the idea of introspection and meditation and reevaluation and reassessment. And so I read online somewhere, this may or may not be correct, don't quote me on this, but either way, I love the story, so I'm going to tell it anyway. I read online somewhere that the 4 of Swords is reminiscent of warriors that used to come home from battle in the dark, I believe the Dark Ages. And when they would arrive home safely, they would go into, I don't know, a church or something and lay in a sarcophagus and replay the battles in their mind, replay the battles and determine how they would do better next time, determine what steps they might take next. And if this were to ever happen again, what you might do differently to have a better outcome, and to reevaluate the mistakes and reevaluate the successes as well. And just reevaluate everything and to visualize how you will change your course of action in the future. Just a story I read online. Don't know if it's true, but either way, it spoke to me, so I'm going to tell it. And with this 8 of Swords, kind of maybe acting a little bit as like a blockage for you, not really being able to see or being blinded to the things that are holding you back. Like I said with the last reading too, with the Moon and that 4 of Pentacles, that there might be things that we're not aware of. Things that we think, the questions, the doubts that we have, in regards to stability or our ability to create this in our own life, our ability to make it happen, our willingness to make it happen. Are we willing to move? You know, this is the card of feeling stuck or feeling trapped, not being able to move. So why do we continually feel like we are not able to move? And even here with the 2 of Swords, with the blindfold, 2 blindfolded people, 2 sword cards, some intense thoughts, some confusion, feeling like you are in some bout of darkness, some cloudiness, even here too with the 7 of Cups, which I think you had this in the last reading as well, so that may be a residual energy for you too. I have to again review back. But, you know, and this being a question of, you know, what do we really want in our lives? Do we want independence? Do we want family? Or, you know, how are we really feeling about the things that are going on in our lives? How are we really feeling about everything? And perhaps you just really don't know. And there is a lot of confusion in your own mind, and even, You know, thoughts and feelings in this instance, I feel, are quite similar. Not knowing what to think, or things actually that we think that are holding ourselves back. And then the overall overwhelming, feeling overwhelmed by maybe having mixed emotions about something or about our lives in general, mixed emotions about our next path, our next steps. You know, and these swords here being directly in line with the idea of stability and judgment being, you know, rising up, a personal enlightenment, things coming to light, similar to that Ace of Swords in the last reading, things surfacing, making sense perhaps of what these are, or maybe just the recognition itself that you are blocking yourself. Just realizing that truly is the first step to taking these swords away and to finding your way out. An interesting general reading for you. The Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands. You know, this being in line with this state of meditation and this state of retreat and emotional fulfillment, the Nine of Cups. You know, I see this as you or us, Virgo, stable. Again, you have the elements of nurturing here, and you are looking on into the future. You are looking on into this state of enlightenment, but still perhaps experiencing some blockage. Or perhaps you have finally started to attain this level of emotional fulfillment, and you know, you have started to move on and progress in your life, finding that stability, but yet you might be holding yourself back. You might be continually asking yourselves questions, continually asking yourself, is this what I really want? A lot of confusion. Not bad. I don't see this as being a bad reading at all. And the Page of Wands, again, I see this even as you, perhaps, for some reason, with your back turned to the idea of stability. So here you are as a queen looking into the institution, I guess, the next step, the next phase of your life, and then for whatever reason your back turned. That might be the state of confusion. You know, are you truly a queen, or are you truly a page? Are you truly ready, or are you still exploring? Are you still experimenting? Are you still trying to figure it out? Are you ready for the opportunities that come your way? Are you ready for the blessings that you are receiving? As a queen you are, as a page you are quite confused. Interesting reading, not what I was... Again, I can never expect anything from these cards. The stories are so unique each and every time. Oh, okay, don't even need to do that. That's definitely the one. Okay. Ah, and here's that Hermit. like I said, with the Four of Swords, sometimes I'm so right, I scare myself. Sometimes I say things that freaks me out. The Hermit. Honestly, I feel like this is not only an incredibly important process that you must go through if you aren't going through it already, but it is the only way, that you will be able to make sense of this, to make sense of the way you feel, to make sense. This essentially is a blockage from moving forward. So remember in the last reading with the Tower and the Eight of Wands right next to each other right here? And I said with the Four of Pentacles that you aren't going to be able to stop it. You're not going to be able to like prevent this from moving on. Like the universe, I think, is going to be forcing you to move on despite your best efforts to maybe stay in one place, for you to stay as this, even though the universe knows you are truly this. But either way, it is important, in order for you to truly understand what's going on and for you to truly process what needs to be done. It is important for you to take a pause and reevaluate and reassess. Because only through true introspection and through connecting with our higher selves and the universe or God, the angels, whatever, will you be able to rise up out of this darkness being the confusion and the traps, the feeling of being trapped. And only then will you be able to rise up and see clearly what our higher purpose is, what our overall intention is, what the universe intends for us. This darkness being a quite consuming energy, quite tiring, quite frustrating. And by doing this and going through the steps that it takes to clear up any confusion, to get rid of this fogginess, we must retreat a bit. We must meditate. We must reconnect with our higher purpose. Even the Queen of Wands, okay, this is coming to me now. The Queen of Wands, Wands being the sign of transformation, Wands being the sign of change and adventure. This little guy here is a little adventurous, a little adventure junkie, if you will, and ready to bring in the new season. And as a queen, you embrace that change, you embrace that transformation, you embrace, the visionary side of yourself, the big picture side of who you are and what of your life. And again, that is what will help us to make those day-to-day decisions, those day-to-day choices, is once we set that big picture for ourselves. So, okay, Virgo, interesting way to start the new year. In the love capacity, I think really, really great things. Overall, energy-wise, this is a major theme for you: stability and growth. Word of advice: just embrace the change, embrace what the universe has in store for you. It might make certain things a little less stressful. As Virgo, we do worry. So, overall, a really, really beautiful start to the year. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and thank you for watching. I'm really, really so grateful, and that's it. Thank you.